As usual, politicians are trying some funny stuff with Social Security. Hopefully, one doesn't happen. Hopefully, another one does happen, but we'll see. I'll keep an eye on this. But today, we're going to talk about survivor benefits, how much you can get, when can you get it, how to apply, and all the rest of it. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Ray. I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country, and now I'm helping you get all the benefits you earned. All right, let's go down. To get survivor benefits in terms of the marriage. So we're talking survivors. They're called surviving spouse benefits, widow benefits, widower benefits, whatever you want to call it. If you were married to someone, if it's a divorce type situation, if you were married to them for 10 years or longer, you would be eligible for benefits on that person's record. 10 years or longer. And it doesn't matter whether it's your most recent ex spouse or your second or your third or your fourth. It doesn't matter if you've been married several times before that, as long as you're currently not married. If surviving spouse has an exception, you can remarry after the age of 60. So if you're receiving surviving spouse benefits on a record, on somebody's record, a deceased spouse, and you get remarried, it doesn't affect your benefits if that marriage happens after the age of 60 years old. How old do you have to be yourself? One more thing is a 10-year marriage. A lot of people miss is if you were married to that person when they passed away, you didn't have to be married for 10 years because it's not a divorce type situation. If you were married to the person for at least 9 months when they passed away, then you're entitled to surviving spouse benefits on that particular person's record. So only 9 months. And as with all things Social Security, there's exceptions to the exceptions, the exceptions. In that particular case, if it was less than 9 months, but the person passed away because of an accident or they were active duty in the military, then that's an exception that Social Security can look at and get you your surviving spouse benefits. How old do you have to be for surviving spouse benefits? 60 years old. A lot of people are waiting around till they're 62 years old because they think that's when you can start Social Security. That's correct if we're talking about retirement benefits or spouse benefits or divorce spouse benefits, 62. But surviving spouse benefits, you can start at 60. Actually, you can start at 50 years old. Between 50 and 59, you can get, if you're disabled, there is a program called Disabled Widows Benefits, Disabled Widows Benefits. And there's certain, you had to be within 7 years, and there's different qualifications there. But if you're a disabled widow, then definitely between 50 and 59. And then starting 60, you can file for regular surviving spouse benefits. How much are we talking about? As with anything on Social Security, anytime you take your benefits early, except for like disability, anytime you take your benefits early, those benefits are reduced. If you start your benefits at 60 years old, you're going to be receiving about 71.5% of that person's benefit amount. And survivor benefits are rather complicated to calculate. Well, they're not difficult to calculate, but there's so many different variables. So if you take your benefits early, those surviving spouse benefits, they're reduced, as much as 71.5%. If you wait until your full retirement age to start receiving those survivor benefits, you get 100% of that person's benefit amount. And there's variables there too. If that person retired early, then you're going to get a reduced amount. And there's a thing called a widow's cap. If it's reduced too much, what they do is they give you 82.5%. But here's something that a lot of people are missing out there is that they're waiting to collect survivor benefits until their full retirement age so they get the 100%. But because their deceased spouse took their benefits early, very early, they will never get the full benefit amount. So the max they can get is that 82.5%, 100% of that 82.5%, but it's still reduced. And so the benefits don't go up after 62 and a half. It's all, yes, it's survivor benefits. There's so many different moving parts. But if your spouse, divorced spouse, ex-spouse, deceased spouse, wasn't receiving Social Security benefits, or they were receiving disability benefits, or they waited till their full retirement age, you will get 100% of their full benefit amount if you wait till your full retirement age. And if they waited to file for benefits after their full retirement age, as you know, when you wait to collect benefits after your full retirement age, you get those delayed retirement credits. That's 8% per year every year you wait after your full retirement age. So if your full retirement age is 67 and you start collecting your benefits at 70, if your benefit amount is $1,000, you'll get $1,240. So 8% times three, 240 extra dollars. And current spouses do not receive those delayed retirement credits. So if your spouse, ex-spouse, divorced spouse, whatever, is still out there alive and kicking, then you do not get those delayed retirement credits, even if they are. You only get those as a surviving spouse, the delayed retirement credits. So again, if you wait till your full retirement age, you'll get 100% of that person's full benefit amount and any delayed retirement credits. All right. So one of the things that Congress is trying to do, which I don't think they're going to be successful, but there are many plans in the works on means testing spouse benefits, current spouse benefits, surviving spouse benefits. What does that mean? That just means that if you are receiving surviving spouse benefits, and that's pretty much the only thing you're receiving, you should be okay if Congress passes this law. But if you have any other income, any other resources or something like that, they're going to means test it in the sense of, hey, you've got all this other money, so you don't need Social Security, and so we're not going to give you Social Security benefit. Again, that is some proposals that are in Congress. Hopefully they don't go anywhere, but there's a crisis happening with Social Security. By 2034, 2035, there's going to be cuts across the board, and Congress, because all politicians for the last 30 or 40 years failed to do their job. The current president, the last president, the president before him, that's still the president now, all the presidents and all politicians for the last 30 or 40 years have failed to do their job and shore up Social Security. So now there's going to be some tough choices that unfortunately are going to hurt, the people, not politicians, because they're doing fine. All right. So there's also there's the lump sum death benefit. It's $255. It's been $255 forever, pretty much, and a lot of people have asked. And I found a place. So if you're looking, if you have, you're uh, want to make sure your loved ones are protected when you shuffle off your mortal coil. I found a place that can help you out. Just call them up and they can give you a free quote on burial insurance. So reach out to them and they can help you out. But Congress, there is one thing I hope passes, but I don't think it will. It's not going anywhere in Congress. Right now, the lump sum death benefit is $255. A one time, I've given out hundreds of thousands of those when I worked at Social Security. Nobody was ever excited because a burial cost, $5,000, $10,000 or so. So there was a proposal in Congress to increase that from $255 to $2,900, but unfortunately, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. So make sure you take care of your loved ones when you move on. There's a strategy for collecting survivor benefits, and unfortunately, because Social Security is at a 50-year low in terms of staffing, Congress has decided to choke Social Security and make customer service terrible. So you will hate it so they can give that money to their, billionaire buddies. That's the strategy, but we're smarter than that, right? But there is a strategy that a lot of people don't know about, is that you can collect collect surviving spouse benefits and don't touch yours. Okay. So let's say you're 62 years old and you're going to stop working, reduce your work, because anytime you collect benefits from Social Security, you know that you have to stay under the annual earnings limit. If you don't, then Social Security holds back $1 for every $2 you go over. Okay. All right. So you're 62 years old and you say, okay, I want to go ahead and start my retirement benefits from Social Security. Should I collect surviving benefits or should I collect retirement benefits on my own record? It depends on how much we're talking about here, but if you have the option, you can collect survivor benefits first. Don't touch yours and just collect survivor benefits. And then in the future, when you reach your full retirement age or even 70 years old, your benefits on your own record will continue to increase. And at a later date, you switch from surviving spouse benefits to benefits on your own record. Or you can actually do it reversed. If your benefits, if your survivor benefits are just a tad bit higher, but you're 62 and you want to wait to collect 100%, you can collect the lower benefit amount on your record and don't touch your survivors. And then when you hit your full retirement age, then you jump over to survivors. It really depends on how much money we're talking about. Sometimes it you lose in the short term. So like if your benefits on your own is actually a little bit more than survivor, maybe $100 more or $100 less, $200 less on survivors, you might just go ahead and decide, okay, I'll take survivors even though it's a little bit more, or excuse me, a little bit less, but in the future mine's even going to be even more than that. So sometimes in the short term, it's better to take the lower amount for a little bit and let the other benefits increase quite a bit. There is a lot of people are missing because Social Security the offices are so inundated. It's called the WIB rib, and it's basically there's a lot of people out there. So please like and subscribe and share and all that kind of good stuff, so people get this information. There's a lot of people out there that um, are receiving surviving spouse benefits, but their benefits on their own record have increased more. So there are more benefits there. And the local Social Security offices are supposed to send out a letter to those people, but unfortunately it doesn't get there. They, whatever the case may be. And people are losing money every month. They need to contact Social Security. It's not automatic. So when you hit your 70th birthday, that's when it maxes out. So contact Social Security if you're receiving survivor benefits and you're 70, 75, 85, 95, whatever. Call Social Security and say, by the way, are the benefits on my record more than my current survivor benefits? And if they are, then definitely go grab those benefits. It's not automatic. A lot of people think it's automatic. One thing that is automatic, if you are receiving spouse benefits, current spouse benefits, and that person passes away, if you are your full retirement age, it will automatically switch. So you're receiving up to half of that benefit amount. And then when that person passes away, you can receive up to 100%. And if you're your full retirement age, it's automatic. If you're under your full retirement age, Social Security is supposed to contact you and say, hey, do you want to wait to your full retirement age, or do you want to be converted now, or whatever the case may be? So it really depends on your particular situation. So those are the strategies, and there are a lot of different variables when it comes to widows benefits. And let's go ahead and jump in. I already got tons of questions here. Let's jump into specific questions. And if you're just here for the surviving spouse benefits, have a beautiful day. But if you want to stick around and hear some questions, go ahead and stick around. And if you need help with Medicare, we're in the Medicare season right now. You can reach out to my partners and they can help you out. Coffee, let's see here. Thank you for working in your retirement to help us and give us the truth. You're welcome. Yeah, my semi-retirement it lasted about a week. Anyway, born 1956, turning 69 in May. How much money can I earn now and not lose my Social Security? Please and thank you. $1 billion? Yeah. Once you hit your full retirement age, it doesn't matter anymore. You can make as much as you want, and it doesn't affect your Social Security benefits at all. If you make $1 billion, you'll probably have to pay an extra Part B premium, Part D premium. But in terms of your Social Security, once you hit your full retirement age, you can make as much as you want, and it doesn't affect your benefits at all. So, Carol, President Trump has stated numerous times that he will not be making changes to Social Security and Medicare. All right, so that is the second best answer. That is not a good. That's not good, because okay, so the worst thing a politician can say is, okay, I'm going to change Social Security. I'm going to raise the retirement age. I'm going to means test thing. I'm going to cut benefits. Okay, that's the worst thing. Good. He didn't say that. But the next worst thing a politician can say is, I'm not going to touch it, because it has to be touched. If it's not, then you're going to get cuts, automatic cuts. In right now, probably about 2033, 2034, you're going to get automatic cuts across the board, about 21, 22%, if nothing is done. So when politicians say, I'm not going to do anything, basically they are, I did a video on this a little while ago. It's basically a politician, and the politician right now, the guy in charge right now, is President Trump, and he's watching Social Security burn down. So he's not adding to the fire. I'm not going to add to the fire. Okay, beautiful, that's awesome, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait for it to burn down. And if President Biden was a president, his picture would be there. Obama's picture would be there. Clinton's picture would be there. Pelosi, all the politicians are just sitting there watching it burn down because they haven't done anything. They're not doing anything. They're being incompetent or whatever the case may be. But anyway, so yeah, that is a terrible response from a president to say, "I'm just going to watch it burn down." So no, that's we can do better than that. All right, because a lot of people are depending. 40 to 50% of people in America just survive on Social Security benefits, and if they get a 23% cut or whatever, then they're going to hurt. So politicians need to do something. They just can't say, whatever. I've got my money, you know, whatever you." Um, I just wanted to thank you for your help. I had just applied for survivor benefits on my ex-husband, and it went a lot smoother due to the information on this channel. Thank you for all you do. You're welcome. Awesome. Good deal. Hopefully they treated you right. The local Social Security office, it didn't take you that long. Yeah, it's yeah, the Social Security officers are really under assault. And those are the people that are supposed to help you, and they just don't have enough people to help you, unfortunately. Rosalind, the local Social Security office called to figure out my onset of disability date, and he said it was being submitted for a decision. Is that a good sign I might get approved? Um, not necessarily. Social Security has many of these onset dates. It's the AOD and the POD and the EOD. The alleged onset date, what you allege your disability began. Your potential onset date is when you're insured status, and you're looking for you want the EOD, the established onset date. So they say you definitely became disabled this particular month. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for them to give you an EOD. That means you've been approved. But yeah, it's not good or not bad. I guess it's good in the sense that they're actually doing something, and they have some staff to work on your particular case. Because yeah, there's not much staff to do anything nowadays. 50-year low in terms of staffing. Linda, husband died in 2018. He was 65 and 4 months. I'm 69, but just now eligible to apply for surviving spouse benefits due to public retirement benefits. Will I receive COLA from his death to now? Yeah, the COLAs are automatically calculated all the way across the board every single time. Yep. So, yes. Let's see. I will be Trisha for life in a couple of months. Maybe TRICARE. I think you're thinking. Should I just get Medicare Part Medicaid? Medicaid is the welfare-based program. You mean Medicare. If you have TRICARE, you have to get Part A and Part B. Yeah. So, but I would reach out to them because that's TRICARE. That's a separate veterans, program. But yeah, you have to get Part A and Part B. Let's see. Ed, thanks for the live yesterday with the chapter reps. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, we answered a whole bunch of questions. We're right in the midst of the open enrollment period, January, February, and March. So if you chose the wrong Medicare Advantage plan, or you forgot to review your Medicare Advantage plan, and now you have sticker shock of how much extra charges, and you lost your doctor or whatever, you can switch your Medicare Advantage plan one time in this January, February, March, part of this open enrollment period. And I think most importantly, you can also check to see if you can return to original Medicare. You might have to go through health underwriting. Depends on your particular state, but you might be able to get out of a Medicare Advantage and go back to health underwriting if you're healthy and able to pass a health underwriting questions. It depends on what particular state you're at, but you can reach out to Chapter, and they're 100% free. They can help you navigate the nightmare that is the Medicare bureaucracy. Bob, my wife might take her Social Security at 62. She has not paid into it for 10 years, but has 40 credits and will be able to get $1,700 a month. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. If she paid it into it for 10 years, then she does have 40 credits, unless some of those years just weren't enough. But if she has 40 credits, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So if she has 40 credits, then she has 40 credits. And be able to get 17. Yeah, then none of that makes sense. Sorry, Bob. Not sure what you're asking, but that doesn't make sense. Get 1,700 a month, but she's not okay. All right. I called into Status Coup YouTube show about having you on, and they said they would reach out to you. Oh, awesome! There we go. Yeah, we really need to get the information out there. Unfortunately, Social Security, because of their resources that Congress refuses to give to them, they are doing a terrible job notifying people of the benefits they're entitled to. So there's a lot of people out there struggling that shouldn't have to because they have money waiting for them, but unfortunately, they're not getting that information. So anything y'all can do to get this information out there, we appreciate it. Yeah, Status Coup. Never heard of them. Status Coup. Let me write it down. That way I will recognize it. Okay, Bob, here we go. All right. My wife is looking to take Social Security at 62, but still work for the town that she lives in. She does not pay into Social Security. Okay, so then one of the non-covered earnings thing. Will she still be able to keep her job without losing um, any benefits? Well, again, everybody is under the annual earnings limit. This year it's $23,400. If she continues to work making over $23,400, then Social Security will hold back $1 for every $2 you go over. So, Tweety Bird X, hey, long time no see. How have you been? Is there something called SSI Aged asking for a new acquaintance living in a shed? Oh, wow. Yeah. Yes, yes. Thank you for looking out for people around you. Wow. This is wow. Yes, 100% SSI agent. So okay, so SSI supplemental security income is the welfare-based program that Social Security administers. Just the Social Security started taking that workload on in 1974. So they just celebrated the 50th anniversary of SSI. So you can get SSI, the welfare-based program. It's, because it's a welfare means tested program, low income, low resources. You can get it based on disability, any age, disability, or aged from 65 and over. So, yes, SSI aged 100%. So, have that person reach out and they don't have to be disabled. They just have to be 65 or older. And what it is on SSI, the max you can get is $967 from Social Security. Some states have a supplement they add on top of that. But from SSI, the max this year for 2025 is $967. So please, 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 please tell that person to reach out to Social Security. You can, both call, being on the phone at the same time. And if they have an issue talking, the person on the other side of the phone, the Social Security claim specialist, will ask that person some identifying questions, and then they'll confirm it's actually them, and then they'll say, hey, do you mind if we talk to Tweety Bird about this? And they say, yeah, go ahead and talk to her, and she can help you out. So yes, awesome. Please help that person out. And if he or she is approved for SSI, then they're also what's called categorically eligible for Medicaid from the state. So, yeah, if it's SSI, if it might not be insured for regular Social Security, but if they are, then Medicare might kick in there. If not, then just Medicaid from the state. Absolutely. And then make sure you watch that video on the living on Social Security alone that I did. I went through about 50 different programs that might help them out. So, yeah, Section 8 housing, yeah, really needs yeah, a lot of people are having difficulty, and the Section 8 housing lists are just crazy long. If anybody knows an expert on Social Security on Section 8 housing, please let's I want to get a resource. Have somebody on that's an expert in Section 8 housing so they can give you all tips, tricks, and secrets. So to help you or your community out. Warren, can a lower earning spouse collect and let their own benefit grow till 70? Um, Only if it's a surviving spouse issue. Um, that was what you're talking about, Warren, was a strategy up until basically 2016 when they passed the law. But no, if you file for benefits from a spouse, a current spouse, a living spouse, ex spouse, you have to file for benefits on your own record first, and then you file for the spouse benefits. And again, it has to be, your benefit amount has to be less than half of the other benefit. So, hello, Dr. Ed. Hey, what's up? Kim, are there any type of benefits if your father served in World War II? Just asking here. There are a lot of deals they do not tell people. Not that I know of. Yeah. Yeah, not that I know of off the top of my head. Nothing from Social Security. Nothing from Social Security, anything like that. VA type stuff, not sure. I know that you can join a credit union, a military type credit union. That's about the only thing that comes to mind right now. Leslie, how will the expansion of Medicaid will affect Medicare patients in the state of Georgia? Um, yeah, so Georgia is expanding Medicaid, and yeah, with Medicaid being kind of a target in this administration, they might dial back on that one, but we don't know yet. But anytime, yeah, if anybody is able to get Medicaid, a lot of people don't know that they're also eligible to get Medicare. You can have Medicaid and Medicare. A lot of people think those are mutually exclusive. No, if you have Medicaid and Medicare, you're called dual eligible. And if you have both of those, then you can probably get, depending on your level of Medicaid, what's called a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan. And those are the ones with all the extra benefits, including those, grocery cards that you see advertised all the time on Facebook and everything. Those do exist. The way they advertise it is really, yeah, bait and switch type thing, but they do actually exist. Whether they exist in your particular area, that's the question. Again, you can reach out to chapter and they can see if one of those are available in your area. But yeah, a lot of people, you can you can get SSI and SSDI. You can get SSDI and spouse benefits. You can get SSDI and surviving spouse benefits. So somebody can have SSDI and spouse and surviving spouse benefits and Medicare and Medicaid and a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan with the extra money and the extra help with prescription drugs. And so there's so many pieces of the puzzle. And unfortunately, a lot of people miss one of those pieces. And there's a lot of people out there struggling. So let's reach out to those. Called Social Security today, and they told me when I take at 70, my wife will not take what I am taking after 70, even if she has passed her FRA. They is wrong based on what you have told us. Um, it As a survivor, they will. She will. As a current spouse, no. So if you waited till your full retirement age, or excuse me, if you waited till 70 and you paid the max throughout your life, this year the max you can get from Social Security is $5,118 or 5,018. 5,018, I think is the max. Yeah, 5,008. No, 5,108. $5,108 this year. The max you can get. So if you waited till 70 and you paid the max for 35 years, then you can get over $5,000. But your current spouse, your divorced spouse does not get that, does not get those delayed retirement credits. A surviving spouse does. So and since you called Social Security, unfortunately, you just talked to a generalist. And yeah, they might have not told you about the difference between a spouse and a surviving spouse, or they were new, and Social Security should do a lot more training, but they don't have time to do training because they need to answer the phones. And so unfortunately training is yeah. um, if you've been collecting surviving spouse benefits and I are now ready to get 70 to get your own, is that like a whole new claim to be filed? Yes, Joyce, that is not automatic. You have to file for benefits on your own record. If you never touched your own record, you never touched your own benefits, then yes, you have to do a claim. And don't wait for after the month you turn 70. The month you turn 70 is when your benefits stop increasing because of those delayed retirement credits. So a couple of months before you turn 70, reach out to Social Security and switch over onto your own if there are more benefits there. Hi all. I just had a great appointment with Seth at Chapter. He got me all set up for starting Medicare in April. Thanks so much for the referral, Doctor. Awesome. Yeah. All right. So Chapter is knocking out of the park. So glad to hear that. Yeah, keep me heads up on that. And then again, a lot of people are requesting help with burial insurance and stuff like that. So these are the people I found. The phone number at the bottom is just for burial insurance. So if you don't mind, I think they're going to do an awesome job, but I like to verify it. So let me know if it's this system, if the service is substandard. If it is, then that's it for them. All right, Robert. Do I have to appointment now for the Fairness Act if I'm not going to start Social Security for another 3 years? Nope. If you're not going to start Social Security for another 3 years, you're good. So by that time, all of the policy and the computer will be reprogrammed and all that kind of stuff for those that the Fairness Act applies to. But no, you're good. You don't have to do anything. Philip, if receiving disability payments, can you cash out a 401 pension lump sum when company let me go? Yeah. If that is SSDI, then yeah, if you get $1 billion from your 401k or lottery or whatever the case may be, it doesn't affect your Social Security disability at all. If you're receiving SSI, which is a welfare-based program, obviously it does. But if you're receiving just regular SSDI, no, no effect on it whatsoever. Joshua, I finally got my application approved for DAC benefits from my mom's record, and I was wondering if adult, disabled, child survivor benefits taxable income. I don't do taxes, so congratulations on getting through the bureaucracy and getting your disabled adult child benefits approved. So those are survivor benefits. So you're receiving 75% of your parents' full benefit amount. Most people, if that's your only income, then probably not for taxes, but talk to your accountant and all that kind of stuff. So I avoid taxes. As I always say, I've been trying to cancel my subscription to the IRS for decades, and yeah, they keep me in their loop. Anyway, Linda, I have an IRMA that was supposed to be for 2 years because I had an income in 2022. They sent me a letter that they were still taking out IRMA for Part B. I have to cancel Medicare Advantage and Part B. Um, if you, because they do it based on 2 years ago. So for 2025, for this year, it's based on 2023 earnings. But if it's, your that income was 2022 and you didn't have, over, the hundred or $200,000 in 2023, it shouldn't be taken out for this year. Um, if something is wrong, then you need to submit an SSA 44, a life changing event, and tell them, hey, what's going on. But yeah, I would definitely think twice about canceling your Part B because if you pick it up later, then you're going to be penalized if you don't have other health insurance from current work, that 20 or more employers and all that kind of stuff. Mary, I have been on SSDI since 2013 and I'm now 63. Can I collect my pension? And if I do, will my SSDI be cut? Okay, so you're talking about a private pension from wherever? Nope, has no effect on SSDI at all. If you're talking about retirement from Social Security, no, you're already receiving your full benefit amount. So if you want to cancel your disability and switch to retirement and get that cut, then because you want to go back to work or something like that, then a handful of people do that. Um, but if you're receiving SSDI, then no, you don't do anything. Once you hit your full retirement age, then your Social Security disability benefits will be automatically switched to regular retirement benefits. And most people don't even notice the switch. Your benefit amount stays the same, direct deposit day stays the same. It's just, you're no longer receiving disability. And because you're no longer receiving disability, you're now receiving your full retirement benefits because you're past your full retirement age. You're no longer limited to how much you can make. And there's no more of those CDRs, the continued disability reviews. So you are free. As Mork and Mindy used to say, you're free. But anyway, I'm dating myself there. Most wonder who recognizes that reference. I'm 58 years old on disability. I was married for 25 years. He's still alive. Is there any type of program that I can apply for to receive his benefits? I'm not married. Right now, no. When you turn 62 and you're eligible for spouse benefits, at that time, If his benefits are twice your benefit amount, then yes, 100% you can see if you're eligible at 62. But right now, unfortunately, not from Social Security. Does non-taxable stipend count as income for Social Security max? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. And if it's income, if it's a W-2 net income for business, then it counts for the annual earnings limit. As a disabled widow, do I qualify for disability benefits in addition to widow's benefits as well? Um, well, if you're receiving disabled widow's benefits, then probably the reason you're receiving disabled widows benefits is because those benefits were higher than disability on your own record. So it really depends on those benefit amounts. But yeah, if your disability benefits on your own record are more, then you might want to switch onto your own record and get off the widow's benefits. But it really depends on which benefit record is the most money for you. That's what it's all about, right? Kathy, at age 65, should I check to see if my cis is more? Your sister? Yeah, not sure. Ed, Jake, Master Maker at Chapter has been helping me. He is awesome. He went above and beyond to help me. Awesome. Yeah, Chapter. And Chapters, again, they help you with Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplements, Part D prescription drug plans. And one of the things that really, my son and I were looking for a place to help you all out with all that is they have that member success team. So once they sign you up, they don't forget about you like a lot of places out there. I had a list on here yesterday, and yeah, if you need a help finding a doctor, you receive kind of some weird bill. If they deny they deny your authorization or something like that, the member success team helps you out. So don't forget Mona 13, that's just one step. If you have any issues in the future, Chapter's there to help you out. So awesome. Good, good customer service. Following Laura, I was married to my first husband 14 years. I am on his and receiving Social Security disability widows benefits. Since 2016, married a second time, was married for 14 years, but we were divorced. I got on disability in 2016. Okay. All right. Yeah. Not sure question we have there. Full retirement age is June 2025. To get full retirement age, what is the earliest to file online? Yeah, a couple 3 months before is fine. So yeah, nowadays because Social Security is so inundated, 3 months before is should theoretically be enough. If they change the status of the fourth and they are doing a non-medical review, what exactly this means, and is this a good sign I am approved for SSDI? I am 57 as one working during the same for 30 years. Okay, so you applied for Social Security disability insurance, and you took it at your local office. They looked at everything, and then they sent it up to DDS, which is the state agency that makes the medical determination. Sounds like they've done the medical determination, and now they returned it to your local Social Security office for the non-medical review. And that's just the final thing to make sure you're still insured and make sure you didn't get a job yesterday and stuff like that. But yeah, that's usually a very good sign. So that usually is a very good sign. So Danny became a member, gold member. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it. What is RSDI? Too many acronyms, right? Retirement, survivors, and disability insurance. So Social Security is broken down into different types of programs. You got SSI and RSDI and old age survivors and disability insurance. It's old age. That's what originally was called, old age survivors and disability. Well, not really disability. Disability was added later, and survivor benefits were added in 1939. Anyway. So yeah, retirement, survivors, and disability insurance. I answered too much more than information you wanted, but he had passed away. So can I get my second husband? He is retired now. My first husband passed away at 47. Okay. Let me see here. So here's what I think you're asking. If you are married to someone and then you got remarried and divorced again, or that person passed away, can you go back to a first husband or a second husband or spouse? Yes, you can. When you file for any type of Social Security benefits, what the Social Security employee is supposed to ask you is, were you married more than 10 years or married to anybody that ended in death? And if you say, yeah, I was married to 3 people for more than 10 years, then the Social Security employer, okay, let's go down the line. X number one, X number two, and X number three. And they say, well, it looks like number two is the most money for you. Let's go for number two. So it doesn't matter how many times, as long as you are now single. And again, we talked about the exception for remarriage after 60 for surviving spouse. But yeah, you can go back to any previous spouse if you meet the criteria. Take and took, what's up? If a surviving spouse X unmarried takes survivor benefits at 60 and lets their own benefit accrue, does Social Security consider them having filed early for their own benefit later at fall? No, because they don't touch their own benefit, and then they can't touch their own benefit at 60 anyway, right? Can't touch your own benefit till 62. So no, if you don't touch your own record, then your benefit just continues to increase. So Gabriella, thank you. 2.99. All right. Got my coffee IV for the day. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. Okay, let me get some other people. Got lots of questions. Let me jump around to some new people here. My question, I just turned 60. I'm not disabled. However, my spouse died at 54 years old. He didn't receive early benefits. What exactly will my benefit be? How does not work? VA, Medicare. Okay. All right. So you're 60 years old. So you will receive, your benefit is based on 100% of his, because he didn't take his benefits and early or anything like that. So if you start your benefits at 60, you will receive 71.5% of his full benefit amount. So whatever his full benefit amount, you'll receive 71.5% of that. If you wait until your full retirement age, you will receive 100% of his full benefit amount. Kevin, my wife worked for about 25 years paying FICA and then became a teacher for 20 years and passed in 2023. Can I file for spousal survivor benefits, Social Security benefits? Yes, absolutely. And you are one of the people that Social Security Fairness Act applies to, one of the 3%, because they need to make an adjustment to her record because her PIA, her primary insurance amount, her benefit amount that is going to affect how much you can get from her is based on a WEPT PIA. That means that amount has been, recalculated based on the law that no longer applies. So, Kevin, I would contact Social Security immediately. It's still January. We got another day or two. I would contact Social Security immediately. And here's what I would do. There's a lot of people out there that are going to miss benefits, and Kevin was smart by joining us here today. So call Social Security immediately. Run to the phone, call the 800 number, 800-772-1213. And unfortunately, because politicians refuse to support Social Security, you might have to wait on the phone for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. But here's what you do. If you can't get in, take a screenshot of your phone that shows the 800 number and that you've been waiting. And that way you're protected for January. So if you can't get in until February, it doesn't matter. You're still protected. You can get your benefits starting January if you want. You're eligible. But then you say, "Hey, I want to file for surviving spouse benefits." And my wife worked for a non-covered entity, received a non-covered pension or whatever, and they will take a claim. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for them to process it because they're going to have to adjust the primary insurance amount. So yes, start the process. Start the process. And there's going to be thousands of thousands of thousands of people out there like Kevin, tens of thousands of people out there like Kevin that don't know to do that, and unfortunately, they're going to lose benefits. So please subscribe and like and share and all that kind of. Contact your local radio station and TV. I did a radio station interview in Chicago that's going to come up here in a little bit. But yeah, we need to get the word out there. Anything y'all can. If you got any famous relatives, tell them to tweet or X or Instagram. Anybody famous. Leave it to Beaver was supposed to, but come on, leave it to Beaver. Hook me up. My husband just passed away while vacation overseas. When I have to report SSA, I am still outside the United States. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Call Social Security immediately and so they can stop the checks. The 800-772-1213. Yes. Carrie, if I'm getting married with survivor benefits will affect. If you're receiving survivor benefits now, and you remarry after 60, it does not affect your Social Security benefits. It's interesting how that law was passed. It changed a few decades ago. They called it actually, they called it at the time Living in Sin Act because a lot of people were receiving survivor benefits and then they met somebody else and they were living with that other person and they didn't want to get married because their survivor benefits would stop. So Congress said, that's not right, which I agree. And they said these people are living in sin because they're living together and they're not married. Anyway, it was a yeah. Anyway, so they passed that law that said, yeah, if you find somebody new and you want to enjoy the rest of your life, you can continue to collect survivor benefits from a previous spouse and not have it affect. So that's the history of that. Linda, I'm getting my benefits started at age 65. I also get survivor benefits of very little. Both my benefits are calculated with the WEP. Also, my Medicare was lowered to 174. How about that? Medicare this year is 185, and I was given $37. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you are one of the people. I don't think you, in your particular case, Linda, have to do anything because you're already in the system. You are getting the survivor benefits, and you're getting benefits on your own record. So you're on the system. So pretty much in your particular case, hurry up and wait, as we used to say in the Marine Corps. Um, that Social Security needs to, redo the benefits or recalculate your benefits, and reach out to your politicians and say, hey, this is taking way too long, and all that kind of stuff. So let's see. Hey, Doc, in mid December, I filed my statement 521. That's the withdrawal of application after veto. Oh, okay. Awesome. So, the voluntary delayed retirement credit. So, Dan did something a lot of people don't realize. If you're receiving your retirement benefits and you're approaching your full retirement age, you can actually suspend your benefits and then let them increase to get those voluntary delayed retirement credits, that 8% per year. Um, One of the problems is I'm sure Dan, when you went in there and said you want to do that, they probably looked at you like you were crazy because not many people do it because they don't know about it. Um, but yeah, so you'll do the withdrawal, or excuse me, not the withdrawal, the voluntary suspend, and hopefully they did it correctly, and you'll get that 8%. And remember, you don't have to wait, a full year or anything like that. It's prorated. So after 6 months, you say, "Oh well, no, I need the money now," or after a year, whatever the case may be. So if a person is unable to fill out a CDR due to a worsened physical disability and being found homeless, what is the next step? Yeah. Um, in that case, if you're just not able to do it yourself, then please go down to the local Social Security office and tell them that you're homeless. And according to the new policy, it's an appointment only system and all that, but they're supposed to make an exception for veterans and homeless and congressional and public relations type stuff. So tell them you're homeless and you demand help to fill out the CDR paperwork. So since Congress representatives are slow and not inclined to help prevent cuts to Social Security, let's make them pay FICA on every campaign dollar raised across the country. Yeah, that's a not. Yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, but yeah, the one thing people watch my channel is the one thing that is going to help the more than anything is to raise the FICA cap. If you make under $176,100, you pay FICA Social Security in every dollar you make. Anything over that amount, you don't pay FICA tax anymore. So that's completely unfair. Why does, most of us have to pay FICA on every dollar we make? But if you're making a lot of money, you don't have to. So yeah. Would you be able to touch on Social Security benefits for children under the age of 18? Yeah, absolutely. So if you have a parent, if the child has a parent receiving retirement benefits or disability benefits, then they can receive benefits, under the age of 18. Or if their parent passed away, they can receive benefits while they're under 18. It stops automatically at 18 years old, but if the child is still going to school, the benefits can continue until they graduate high school, not college. It used to be college in the old days, but when they graduate high school. If that child is disabled and they became disabled before the age of 22, they can receive those benefits pretty much forever as long as they're disabled from a parent's record. And the only other thing for children under the age of 18 is if that child is disabled, then they can receive SSI disability. That's that supplemental security income, the welfare based program. So, Deborah, I was automatically given his with mine. I hadn't asked him for it. I was 64 then. It really helps. Yeah. So uh, hopefully when you go into social security, that's one of the problems of social security is that they're so understaffed that the employees are supposed to take a little bit extra time with you and explain the different options about filing for this versus this and all the rest of it. But unfortunately, because they've got thousands of calls and every single day in each office, that it's just kind of an assembly line, and people are missing benefits because of it. It's sad. So, and it's all Congress's fault. They refuse to support social security. And it's going to get worse because the attempt to anyway. I didn't know there was a difference between survivor benefits and retirement. Well, yep, now you do, and now you can go out there and educate everybody around you. Let's see here. Carol, can my husband and I keep our benefits if we move to Canada? Husband just started SSDI. I have Social Security retirement with the green card. Yes. Yep. Canada, if you have a green card, you can go on to Social Security. There's a tool, but I think Canada is good. So it's called the Payments Abroad Screening Tool. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can live anywhere in the world except for North Korea and Cuba, and collect SSDI or retirement or survivor benefits. But since you have a green card, I would just double check. I think Canada is good. There's some countries that if you have a green card, then you have, there's different requirements. But yeah. Good evening. Thanks for all the good advice and update. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. How can I reduce or shelter assets so I can qualify for Medicaid? Yeah, I'm not going to go into that one. I must file for SSDI in order to file for federal employee disability. If federal disability is approved and I receive over 2350 per month, can I still receive SSDI? Um, yeah, and I don't know about OPM and stuff like that. They've got a different program. That's what you're talking about, Office of Personnel Management. But in terms of Social Security, it doesn't affect your Social Security benefits at all. Can you get DWIB with that? If you are disabled widowed benefits from between 50 and 59, yeah, you can definitely file whichever one is the most. Oh, became a member, another member. Thank you, Mozart LLC. I take care of a disabled stepfather who will be turning 65 in May. He already gets Social Security. I assume SSDI, but I am not sure. My mother passed away 10 years ago. Is he eligible for more? Okay, awesome for taking care of someone. Um, okay, so he's going to be 65 in May. So I would, really find out what type of benefits he's receiving. If it's receiving SSDI, I would check. I would call Social Security and say, "Hey, is he eligible for surviving benefits on your mother's record? If your mother worked more or longer, whatever the case may be, maybe there might be some surviving spouse benefits. But he can continue if he's receiving SSDI disability. He can continue to receive disability." And get surviving spouse benefits on top of that. One offsets the other, but he can get both. And then hopefully he has Medicare, because if he has SSD, if he has Medicare now, that means he has SSDI. So there's one answer to a question. Since you're assuming he might have SSDI, if he has Medicare, the only time you can get Medicare before the age of 65 is if you have received SSDI for 2 years. So if he's got Medicare. Another thing you should check is, because he's turning 65 in May, he might only have a Medicare Advantage plan. And when you turn 65, he's eligible in most states to get, in all states, to get a Medicare supplement plan and don't have to go through the prior authorizations and limited networks and stuff like that. There is a monthly premium for that, but if he has a hard time dealing with the limited networks and stuff, you might want to check that out, and you can reach out to chapter and they can help you see if there's anything better and see if it's an option for you and him. So, is there an age where you can receive survivor and retirement benefits and work however much you want without worrying about a limit as to how much you can earn without being penalized? Yeah, you're full retirement age. Once you hit your full retirement age, you can make $1 billion a month and it doesn't matter anymore. Before that, 23,400. And the year you turn your full retirement age, say you turn your full retirement age this year in July. Between January and June, you can make $62,160. And then starting in July, you can make $1 billion a month. So the year you turn your full retirement age, the limit increases by about three. So let's see here. Hey, Doc, I filed my 521 withdrawal of an application. How long does the review process take? Do I have to pay back in a lump sum all at once, or it can be spread out? Um, okay, so you filed an application, and within 1 year, you decided, oops, I didn't want to do that. So you withdrew the application, and nothing happens until you pay it back. So you have to pay it back. You have to pay all that money. You can't set up a plan or anything like that. So your withdrawal doesn't take effect until you actually request the withdrawal. And then they say, okay, we paid you, $12,000. You have to pay us $12,000. And until that check pretty much clears, your case is not withdrawn. So Vicky worked under PERS, took a lump sum at 62 and a half, started my Social Security at this time also. My Social Security reduced windfall. I was married 26 years, never remarried. How will the new law work? Okay, yeah. So as of, they will backdate it to January of 2024, and they will no longer take that windfall elimination provision. You will get an extra percentage. So, yep, you're already you don't have to take a new claim or anything like that. Yours will be automatic. But unfortunately, it's going to take a while for particular cases like yours. Why did I receive a new Medicare card that says I'm enrolled in Part B? I've only had Part A. No, yeah, I would reach out to Social Security and find out. Yeah, um, yeah, not sure. If you don't want Part B, if you refuse Part B because you have health insurance from current work, yours or your spouse's, then yeah. And your employer has 20 or more employees, then yeah, you don't need Part B. So I would call them up, because if you don't want it, and you're paying for it, that's $185. All right, I got tons of questions here. Unfortunately, not able to get them all. I am. Thank you for the generous donation. I appreciate it. Wow. Let's see. My husband just applied for early Social Security retirement benefits because he will be 62 in April. He has worked as a UPS package driver for 35 years and is retiring in April because his body is breaking down. Yeah, that has to be a tough one. Um, okay, so he filed for retirement benefits at 62, but it sounds like the reason he's doing it is because he's not able to work, for various reasons. What you might want to consider is also filing for disability benefits, because you can file for retirement benefits and disability benefits at the same time. You won't get both. You'll get whatever the highest one is. But the reason people do that is, if you file for disability, it takes you 6 to 9 months if you're lucky to get a decision. And most people can't wait, without a check. So you file for both, you start getting your retirement benefits, and while you're waiting for your disability decision to happen. And the reason disability is better is because it will be a higher amount. If your benefits, if he starts his benefits at 62, he's going to get a 30% reduction his entire life. If he is approved for disability, then he doesn't get a 30% reduction. He gets his full benefit amount, and he gets Medicare quicker. So instead of waiting until 65 to have his Medicare kick in, if he's approved for disability starting at 62, then he will get his Medicare a year early at 64. So if he just applied, um, I would call up Social Security and say, okay, we also want to file for disability benefits too. Or I would normally say go online, but since your claim is already in the system, it probably won't let you apply online. So, but yeah, more money and Medicare quicker. That's always a beautiful thing, right? All right. So another limit character. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, you guys. All right. All right. That'll do it for today. I am out of time. I will be back. I will be back again tomorrow and answer some more questions. So if I didn't get your question,